am Danny.
And I'm Mona.
Are you a millennial with little to no money? Well, you've come to the right place. Forget your bills and enjoy the thrills of starving yourself till 11 a.m, only to pay through the roof for rubbery eggs you could have bought at Macca's.
There's got to be a better way.
Indeed there is. Whether it's sweet, savoury,
or sweetery.
Today we'll show you how to food spam your Instagram without breaking the bank.
Oh, I can't log into our Instagram.
Yeah, it was shut down. People complained about that spotted mushroom recipe we posted. Like, calm down, the paralysis only lasted for like a day. Well, for the survivors. Drama queens. As Gen Y people, the thought of cooking is almost as terrifying as looking away from our phones. But unlike a boomer, we know when we need to change.
Yes, cooking may seem hopeless and expensive at times, but hey, we've committed to worse.
And we've got the arts degrees to prove it. Coming up, we'll be making a super simple salad complete with a roasted sweet potato, feta, and just a bunch of other hipstery rubbish.
Next, we will be whipping out our bubbles with our beautifying bubble tea.
Then in true millennial fashion, we'll reward ourselves for no reason with a decadent chocolate brownie. There's no better way to cleanse your palate and your colon than with a fresh salad.
I couldn't agree more.
Some people prefer salads rich in superfoods like kale or fermented dirt or whatever, but here in Australia, we prefer our salads to have actual flavour. And when we say flavour, we mean carbs. And when we mean carbs,
we mean potatoes!
So spread that potato positivity like you'd spread
love, the free kind.
Speaking of which, we finally received our first fan mail.
Just a sec.
Ooh, death threat, death threat. Oh, that one's nice. USEC69 from Tassie says he's sending us cooking utensils.
With instructions.
Oh jeez, would it even fit up there?
The diagram says so.
Well, now they're using a cheese grater again.
So, we're going to wash these sweet potatoes. Shake them off. Right, I'm going to cut them into thick slices. This is a bit munted, but yeah. Just putting them into the oven tray. I like them nice and thick. I'm just drizzling a little bit of extra olive oil. So what's the difference between virgin and regular olive oil?
Oh, that's easy. One's young, fresh and full of optimism, whereas the other's bored, bitter and wants the last 2 minutes back. Now you want to give these a good roast at 200 degrees Celsius. You want them roughly Trump-like in colour, but don't worry, these will be far more palatable.
Welcome to Oven Operation for Millennials. First, ensure you're emotionally ready to operate the oven.
Why isn't the oven on?
Remember, this is a safe space. It's okay to make a mistake. Although by doing so, you could end up like my— Oh my god, Gran, where's your other eye?
Our sweet potatoes are looking nice and crispy.
Just like us in a few years, am I right? Oh, now time for the lemon. I'll just pop this aside. Now this will cut through the sweetness of the honey if my personality wasn't enough. It's also great for cakes, puddings, and dissolving your corneas after catching your boomer neighbour cooking with nothing but an apron on.
So many folds, but none in the cooking.
Now take the roasted sweet potato and just start plating it up. Just sitting it in the bowl, lining it up. Now we've just put in the remaining lemon juice into here with some Dijonnaise, also known as Dijon mustard. Take some pure honey as well, we've got in a squeezy can here, and give it another mix. Now I'll just take our dressing and just pour it over the top. Grab some leafy mix. I do recommend rocket, but again we have no class or sophistication. So
It'll do.
Now I've just cut some feta cheese into blocks and just throw them in there as well. Last but not least, we've got some trail mix, which we're just going to sprinkle on as well. I would recommend using pecans, but Mona didn't get those from the supermarket like I asked her to. Okay. Whether I'm sipping it or spilling it, tea has become one of my favourite pastimes. There's nothing better than a good weep and steep. You can talk about the good old times, you know, before you started making tacky YouTube videos for attention, or the fact that you need more than 2 viewers to call yourself an influencer, which is frankly outrageous.
And to remedy this rage today, we will be making bubble tea, a sort of lumpy sugar stew.
Science suggests its sweetness and colouring alone will corrode all tooth enamel and gum, but people on social media are doing it, so I guess it's okay.
So, we're going to use black tea, tonic water, some cucumbers, and lemon, and fresh mint.
Stop! You forgot the berries! Now, the recipe says to get a large jug, but, well, I don't have any large jugs. But we have some glasses here instead. Ooh, I love that sound. Gently pour it into the glasses, you don't want it foaming over. No tea is done without some teabagging action. So pop those in there. Is it supposed to be fizzing like this? So you'll be peeling the rind off the lemon, the zest. So you'll be peeling the zest off the lemon. So the peeling should look like gross gangly things like these. And we just want to kind of shove them into the glass. Take your lemon and just push it all the way down.
Oh my gosh.
I'm pushing it. I'm pushing.
As hard as you can. Push it.
It's a girl. Sometimes it's hard to find the motivation to peel vegetables. I find a good trick is to imagine you're mutilating something that you hate, like the body part of an ex. Like so. So satisfying. Next, we've got our fresh mint. Dunk in a strawberry. If it's 2 PM and your Tinder date is still MIA, simply substitute the sparkling water with something a little stronger.
Like gin.
Or battery acid. Now, as our generation expects it all with as little effort as possible, today we've decided to use a Woolies packet mix. Now, these brownies are quite different from the ones I had in college, but this delightful recipe will more than make up for it.
I love me a bit of mid-morning delight.
It doesn't mean what you think it does.
What? Morning delight in my mouth?
Oh, that's so much worse.
With cream?
Jesus. Now we're just going to cut the packaging of the brownie mix open and chuck that in our mixing bowl as quickly as possible. Next on the list is to put in the margarine, which we need 5 tablespoons of. So we've got our margarine, we've got our tablespoon, and we've got 1 and 5. Try not to put the shell in like I just did. It's going to be a very crunchy brownie. Put in our water and get mixing. Once you're done, the consistency should be rather kind of sloppy. And so we're just going to throw that into our baking tray, and then we're just going to use a spoon and spread it into the corners. Meeting at the corner, just like my last Friday night. Okay, so that's ready for the oven, which we've got preheated at 180 degrees. We're going to bake that for 30 to 35 minutes. So, enjoy. So after 5 hours of burns, blood and screaming, we can finally eat.
Bit late for brunch, don't you think?
This is art, Mona. It doesn't conform to society's eating schedule. But it does conform to mine. Let's dig in. What do you think?
I'm tasting something very familiar.
Failure, perhaps?
Oh yeah!
But don't worry, it'll keep all fear of inadequacy at bay till dinner time.
Or forever if you're a diabetic.
Now, let's see how we did with our bank-friendly budget. Do you have the receipt?
It just says transaction declined.
Of course it did. Like, that was the worst day ever.
Spill the tea.
Like, I was snatched AF and I had to post some selfies.
Yeah?
And they called me self-centered. I was like, damn, you're more salty than these kale fries. Then they threw their kombucha in my face.
Savage!
I know, right? I was shook. I was like, I have fans, you know, and they need constant updates just to get through the day. Like, my posts give their lives meaning.
So true. You're totally not self-centered. But what was their name again?
Tabletha or something. I don't know. Hey, what do you think of this filter?
Iconic! I'm like literally obsessed with you.
I love you, babe.
I love you more.
Love you. Oh.
And cut!
Ugh.
That was awful.
Yep, we're going to Millennial hell.